Oh, there's Chandra. Hey, you've talked a little bit in some of your videos about this trophy game.
Oh,
Can you give me a little more detail? Oh, that's what you got.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So this is Trophy Loom, which is the world building book. But let me talk to you about Trophy Gold. This is the core book. So there used to be kind of two core books, Trophy Dark and Trophy Gold. Trophy Dark is gone. Trophy Gold has entirely replaced it. The reason being, same game, but now with campaign rules. Okay, so what makes this one different, all right? You know I love me some fantasy dungeon crawlers. Absolutely love the stuff, especially when it's a bit dark, when it's a bit gritty, when it's a bit low magic, right? But you tend to see the same kinds of mechanics, the same kinds of game structures happening in those games all the time. And as much as I love it, it's awesome, refreshing to see something really new and different being done with that genre. And the Trophy series is, I think, the breath of fresh air that old school fantasy dungeon crawling really needed. And I hope more people take notice of it. What makes this one different is you are not worrying about detailed maps. In fact, let me find you a map to show you in here so you can get an idea. All right, here's a simple one. There's a map for an entire adventure.
Oh.
You'll notice that looks a heck of a lot more like a flowchart. Well, there's a reason for that. Most fantasy RPGs are all about procedure. Most fantasy RPGs are about the mechanics forward, trying to get you to think tactically and strategically and all of that stuff. And that's great. I love that. But where is the mood building fantasy dungeon crawler RPG? You've got that with Trophy Gold. It only uses a handful of D6s. You basically need 2 colors of D6s, light and dark. And every single roll you make is a press your luck game, more or less. Every single roll you make, there's something to gain and something to lose. There is never a roll where neutral is a possible outcome. So you want to try to avoid rolling dice whenever you can, but when you have to roll dice, like in combat or when exploring dangerous places, you want to stack up as many light dice as you can possibly get, or have some hunt tokens you can spend to get an easy win on it. Now, the trick with Trophy Gold is you are exploring environments, and the environment is the focus. The monsters are mysterious. The magic is dangerous. It's all still there, but the magic isn't stuff you're going to be throwing lightning bolts in combat and things like that. Instead, they are rituals you have to set up in advance to get maximum benefit out of them. Using them in combat, wildly dangerous because you're standing there still working with all of your ritual implements and stuff to try to pull it off. No, the rituals you have to plan in advance when's the best time to do it. Combat is swift. A single die roll can end combat. And all of the dice rolls are made by the players, not by the GM, which means it's always the player's decision how they want to approach that stuff. The player is always the one taking the risk, which is a big why the environment is key in here. The GM wants to build up a moody, mysterious world that encourages the players to explore, that encourages the players to be curious, to want to reach out into this world and find all the dark nooks and crannies. There are no monsters that your players will recognize. Every monster is bespoke. Every monster is for the one particular setting you're describing in this moment. So the monsters are there to build the world just as much as everything else is. The monsters are there to push the players into uncomfortable decisions. The monsters are there to get the players to think about the implications of this monster in this place. What does that mean about this place? What does this place represent? What about the human condition is this place showing forth to me? So, Trophy Gold, wildly unique take on your classic fantasy. It is the mood, narrative, and character forward take on a dungeon crawler. And frankly, you can't do better to refresh your table and to really bring something new and different to yourself and your players. So check out Trophy Gold, whether you just want a gorgeous book on your shelves or you want to really dive into the ideas of that classic fantasy dungeon crawl. What motivates the people who would go out and do such a terribly dangerous, horrifying thing. Anyway, that's one that I just love talking about, at least as much as I love running it. I'm Chandra at Games Unlimited. Throw some dice, throw some cards, have fun.
Until we meet again! Ha 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 ha!